All right. It's like we're counting down, but we're counting up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Hey, there we go. Welcome.
What's
Hey,
going on?
what's up, guys?
Hey,
We are
hey, hey,
live.
hey. We do not have our sound effects guy, aka Geronimo.
Choo, 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 choo.
But welcome back to the Technically Speaking, where we are giving you news
That you can
That you can
use.
use.
you already know.
That's
Man,
right.
listen, we got some of our subscribers over there on the East Coast, so we're praying for you guys because of that weather, and we also hoping that it gets better for you guys. But in other words, we're gonna make this show hot so y'all can feel a
Mm-hmm.
little heat. You feel what I'm saying? Um,
Hmm.
ah,
Welcome to episode 84.
Yeah,
84,
84. Mm-hmm.
84. You know what I'm
a lot.
saying? And,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's do a round robin about y'all days. You know what I'm saying, Bobby? How was your day?
Um, my day was fine. Went by pretty quick. Did situational telework because if you're in the Texas area, you'll know that we had a winter storm hit us on Saturday. And anytime it's in the teens, it's no bueno, man. Don't drive. Don't drive. Don't leave your
Don't
house.
drive.
If you have to, your butt better have some goddamn full on insurance. All right, none of this liability stuff.
You have to when you drive in the snow or something like that. You got spikes on your tires, right?
Yeah,
I
chains.
don't know. It doesn't snow here, but when it has, it's been bad when it has
That's
here.
crazy.
But other than that, we get a lot of ice. But even then, when you get ice, it's still not safe. So
Ooh, black ice. That stuff's dangerous.
yes,
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. How's your day, Don? Talk to us.
It was long, man. I just started getting some more work, so I'm back to working 5 days a week now. And so
that's
I
awesome.
don't know if
That's
I
really
like this.
nice.
Like once the money comes in, I'm sure it'll be better. But man, yeah, it's not as much free time as I used to have.
Oh
Mm, mhm.
man, well, I totally get it, man. You know what I'm saying? Free time ain't always free,
Yeah.
especially spending some time.
Hmm.
Um, but we about to jump right into it. So you know what I'm saying? Look, we got a show today. Our brother Geronimo, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Tech Von Gogh, he not here today, but we gonna fill in with him. And you know what I'm saying? With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it. You guys already know what's going on in the buzz and entertainment. Oscars.
Mhm.
Psh, they here, man. They are here. The Oscar nods is really, really nice this time around. But do you know a fun fact? The
Tell
What's
me.
that?
people the people who go to the Oscar nomination revealing, or I should say, um
Red
yeah,
carpet?
an announcement. They got to be at the Dolby Digital Theater in Hollywood at 5 in the morning.
Yeesh.
It's five because it's 8 o'clock when they broadcast it off to the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, dude, somebody gonna have to just send me a text. Like, what's y'all take on that? What y'all take on about the Oscars coming up? Because there's a lot going on with it. But give me y'all spiel, starting with you, Bobby.
Give me like a definitive question. I don't pay attention to known movie stars. I know we're supposed to be doing stuff, but none of them people live in no reality.
Okay.
I have a hard time. Y'all are there. They're strictly for entertainment. That is
Exactly.
it. Anything outside of that bubble, don't
Yeah.
be talking about it because it don't really affect you. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
because
mean,
of the fact that there's some good movies that's out there. It's like the movie centers did pretty good, right?
mm,
And the technology they filmed that on was old school. You have to be a person who really is into film to actually know how they filmed that, and that's one of the
mm,
reasons why I think that I'm really excited for that because they didn't go with the newest technology out there.
yeah,
They filmed it on old technology
mhm,
and got the most nominations
yep,
throughout, throughout the whole Oscars, and I think that was good too. And
I thought he
Leonardo
did a good job.
Leonardo DiCaprio movie. Let me just tell you something. That man got range in acting, right?
Yeah, yeah, he
We
does.
seen him in what was that movie? Titanic.
Mm.
My favorite movie was Wolf of Wall Street. No lie.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, that was a good
Romeo and
one.
Juliet. Oh,
Oh, that was a good one, even for the
Romeo
girl
and Juliet,
chick flick. That was
definitely.
a good chick flick.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not a chick though. That's why. But in sales, I'm just talking about it because I have a background in sales, and I used to be one of those guys who used to talk mess on the phone to the people, making them feel like if they hang up, they're gonna lose their last life of limbs and stuff. But that's me. That's me. What about you, Donald? What's your take on these Oscar buzz?
Well, actually, it's funny because I've never really been into award shows
Hmm.
other than the BET award shows, and I was watching that just kind of for support, to support the cause. And so I was thinking to myself, like, what is it about the Oscars and the Grammys and all these things that make me not want to like? It's not entertained or fascinated by it. And it's weird because I went online and I did some research, and actually, there's a huge decline in like viewership. So it's like I'm not the only one who's not really caring about these award shows anymore, man. Like, one of the interesting facts I found was like did like a 15-year search on it, and like back in 2005, they were doing great. Like even in closer to like the 2010 area, there was like about 35 million people watching the Grammys or the Oscars and whatnot. And now it's down to 15 million. And
Mm,
it's really weird because like it really started dropping during the pandemic,
yeah.
uh, surprisingly enough. Or no, wait, it started picking up again in the pandemic, and but it dropped off again. So like if you look at the oh no, I'm sorry, it was from 2021 to 2024, the ratings started to increase.
Yeah.
Uh, but now if you look at the last year, they had a 9% decrease. So
Mm.
viewership is declining again. So uh, yeah, man, I think that there's a lot of people that are kind of tuning it out now, and maybe it's just the quality.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like anything exciting anymore, really ever.
True. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
when we were younger and we were kind of limited on what we could see on TV, watching those award shows was a huge thing because it gave us a glimpse into the movie star lifestyle.
Right?
Right.
But
You get to hear from them, and they give their speeches and stuff.
and we got to see the little concerts or shows that that they did in between people doing things. Got to hear speeches, but things have changed.
Yeah. I think the reason being is because of the fact that another thing you guys said, like we were younger, right? Those like superstars back then to us was like, oh wow, that's Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh my god, that's Michael Jackson. We were like fascinated, but once we got older, it's been more like, oh, they just regular people. They they're on the screen. I think the hype died down. If I'm to be honest, if I'm being honest, you know what I'm saying. And now the way things are moving, it's like celebrityism isn't as popular as it was. You know what I'm saying, like it used to be. And
Yeah.
that leads me into the hero's highlight. You know what I mean? We all know who Tyrese Gibson is, right? Tyrese who sung on Coca-Cola on the bus. Somebody spotted him. And we were just talking about Star Search last week. But also last week, no, 2 weeks ago, a young lady by the name of Romeo, and that's our hero's highlight. She has been on TikTok doing her singing impressions and speaking into the camera confidently, right? And she's not even a Gen Z. She's a Gen Z. Um, and shout out to them because they saw what a Gen Y millennial was doing, and they follow suit like Tyrese did. Boom, she did, and she got a deal, a multi-million-dollar deal through Dr. Pepper, and she had that song Dr. Pepper, baby, do 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 do, and Dr. Pepper picked it up, and then Subway entered. A lot of started sending her messages, And it just goes to show you that, if you feel like you can do something, because she said, I have a song for Dr. Pepper, right? And she sung it, right? And they picked it up and ran with it. And now she has a life. She has a career of singing. I seen her do a Hyundai commercial. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Residual.
Yeah, so that's more money. What do you guys intake? I mean, what do you guys take on that? You know what I'm saying?
You
What do you
said
think
her
about that?
name. Her name was Romeo.
Her name Romeo. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I know that just threw me off. You said
I know.
Romeo, and then you said her, and I was like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
cool. I
you know
definitely
what I'm
support
saying?
those people coming
What,
up.
what's your take on it, Bobby? Talk to me.
No, that's good. They're coming up. But what was the tie-in with her and Tyrese though?
Because they both were in public places and they got signed to multi-million-dollar deals by just singing Carefree.
Oh, okay. All right, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Hey, you got those real vocals and stuff without having to use any special effects, and that's the real deal.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's a good point.
We
No
like the real
special
deal.
effects. You know what I'm saying? How about you, Dr. Poole? I know you know what I'm saying, getting yourself situated. What do you think about that?
I think that it's a great opportunity for her. I hope she
Mhm.
makes the best of it. And if she can set the example for other young people doing the TikTok thing, and she can create something, then more power to her. Hope that she can get like good representation. Especially dealing with agents, and sounds like
Well,
she's making it in Hollywood. So definitely want to make sure you got protection and
yeah.
uh, so I hope she got. I'm sure she probably got somebody who's helping guide her along the way. How old is she? Is she? I didn't read her bio. Is she like pretty young or pretty old?
She's pretty young. She's
Right.
definitely Gen Z. But by her singing that, they played the song during the college football championship.
Okay.
That was what really like got her noticed. Dr. Pepper already noticed her, and I think an agent she signed with an agent, but now it's like she's doing Hyundai commercials. I wouldn't be surprised if she did like a Wendy's commercial, something like that.
Mhm.
But it goes to show you that talent can still be found. You know what I'm saying? Stars can still be searched.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But look, to me personally, I'm happy for her, right? A lot of people don't get a chance to shine and do their thug izzle, but
Mhm.
kudos and hats off to her.
I got a hero. Can we give one more quick hero shout out?
Yeah, go for it.
I saw on Netflix this guy, he's a producer director named Mel Brooks. They're doing like a 99-year celebration for this guy or something like that, man. He's responsible for making Spaceballs and a bunch of Gene Hackman movies
Oh
and like
wow,
Little
Mhm.
Frankenstein and
yeah,
he- I didn't read the thing. I don't know if he passed or not, and that's why they're doing this. But man, almost 100 years of entertainment from Mel Brooks, man. He
that's
has
Well,
given me
that's
some good
well known,
movies.
amazing.
well-known name.
Definitely, and entertainment comes in multiple ways, and this wasn't on our agenda, but you know, I definitely want to talk about it since we got a couple more minutes before we switch it. My damn Rams lost.
Yeah, they sure did.
Oh,
I was mad. I was so
We were
mad.
watching last time. My daughter goes, "Mom, you were right." I was like, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah." I
but I
said,
can tell
"What? The
you right now,
Seahawks
the
took
Pats is
it?"
not going past the Super Bowl. They're going to lose at the Super Bowl. Yeah,
he's
but
not on that
I
Pats
told
bandwagon at
Patriots
all.
Seahawks. I called it. 2
yeah,
weeks ago. I called it. I said, "Oh, I
you
already know."
did, you did, and I'm not mad at you. What's your take on the outcome of the Rams Seahawks game, Bobby? Because I already know how you felt about the Patriots winning. Because you was going for the Patriots
Because
anyway.
they're my second team after the Cowboys. It's the Patriots. So listen, as long as one of my teams made it to the Super Bowl. So I did like the way the Rams played. They didn't just give up. You know what I mean? Like don't say like the Niners, but
Ooh,
they
ooh,
they were fighting. They were fighting for a minute, you know what I mean? They were almost neck and neck for a little while. Didn't have enough oomph to kind of pull it through the fourth quarter. Overall, it's a very good game,
yeah,
especially with one of the last touchdowns that they made. That guy barely made it in that quarter. The
yeah,
field goal. I bet you were happy when they pulled that one.
man.
I think at that point it was like 26-29 when he got that. But anyway, they're did a really good job uh, of
Yeah.
trying to pull for it and stuff. But at the end of the day, the Seahawks did their thing and they fought just a little bit harder to get that title.
Can't be mad at the Seahawks. The better team won, right? You know what I'm saying? What's your take on it, Dr. Poole?
I think you're right, man. The Seahawks in our division are normally the number 2 team behind the 49ers. So it doesn't surprise me that the Seahawks beat the Rams. And, it doesn't surprise me that they're going to the Super Bowl out of all the teams that they played against so far. I
Yeah,
think it's going to be a great Super Bowl, but I think
Yeah.
ultimately um, the Seahawks are built for this.
yeah.
And if you look at the city of Washington, the state of Washington and Seattle needs money more than Boston does right now and Massachusetts. And so I believe that because I think sometimes some of this stuff is rigged and fixed, that Washington will probably pull it out because they could use that money. But if you look at it just team wise, yeah, I expected the Seahawks to make it if the 49ers didn't. And the Patriots are cool. They still got that. This like their first time since Belichick and Brady. So
Brady.
Yeah,
hopefully they don't have no pressure. There's going to be a lot of pressure on a lot of people for it being their first time there. And same thing with Seattle too. I'm sure Seattle hasn't been to the Super Bowl in at least 10 years.
yeah.
But Pete Carroll's been there before. And I believe Pete Carroll is still the coach for the Seattle Seahawks.
No.
No, he's not? Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, they don't have a coach that's been there before either yet. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Pete
think
Carroll,
Seahawks. I'm going to go with Seahawks, man. I didn't watch that Denver game, though, because it didn't seem like it would be entertaining. And to be honest, I only watched the highlights for the Rams in the Seahawks game. But
well, you know what I'm saying?
I know football so well, I don't have to watch it to know kind of the outcomes.
Well, no, Broncos held their own because of the weather and everything, but they still lost. And you know what? They gave it a good try. And speaking of try, you know what I'm saying? It looked like Dana White trying something new, bro. Let's roll up into that millennial moment, man. This is your time to shine, Dr. Poole. Let's go.
Okay. Yep. We've been talking a lot about streaming services, and we've been also talking a lot about sports and how they're combining the two between them and stuff like that. And it happened again. This is happening on Paramount this time, though. And it's cool for Paramount, considering that Paramount lost the deal with WB. They weren't able to get all of that WB content, but they're still out there fighting, and they're still trying to build their platform and their service. And they're doing that by linking with Dana White. And I was listening to the Pat McAfee show, and he had Dana White on there talking about how he's getting ready to go into boxing. And so this weekend was the first boxing card, I believe, on Saturday that was promoted by Dana White, which was pretty interesting, because Dana White's already got a partnership with the TKO group, which is the group that is also responsible for WWE. So WWE and UFC are kind of partners because they're both managed by the same group. And if you look at Dana White, he also created that slap fight. And so people just smacking the shit out of each other now and just knocking each other out with slaps.
Oh God, I love those shows.
Man, and now he's in the boxing. So this guy has ties to almost every type of combat sport that there is, owning a couple of them himself. And
aggressive. I'm pretty sure it's very aggressive. I mean, that's a smart thing. That's a smart thing.
Why? What do you think? You think it'll help target more audience members, or because I was thinking with the Paramount, we were talking about Landman the other day, and that was a great segment, but it wasn't enough to make me want to go and get Paramount Plus yet. This partnership, though, if I'm able to watch UFC fights and boxing, and they start doing live sports, I'm probably going to pay whatever Paramount wants me to pay for their subscription. And so yes, I think it will be successful, but I don't know the streaming services that well. What do you guys think, though? You think it's going to do well?
I think it could potentially do well. I think there's other things because each streaming service has their own like individual set of movies or shows that you can see on there. And
Right.
so we already know Paramount took over for being able to see Yellowstone. So if you like the Yellowstone series, if you like anything produced by Taylor Sheridan, which we talked about, the same thing with Landman. And now my husband and I are on our second season of another Taylor Sheridan show called Tulsa King, the one that Geronimo was talking about. So
Mhm.
very good. That one's with Sylvester Stallone. Some big names in there,
Yeah.
and very good show. We really enjoy it. So I mean, there's already 3 shows, right, that I've named that I believe are fully worth your time watching those. But then you add the UFC fights on top of that. I feel like that's kind of a no-brainer then.
Yeah.
What do
Definitely.
you think, Corey? Think it's going to help their bottom line, or you think it might flake out and fall off?
Nah, they definitely will help because of the fact that I mean, there's fight parties, right? And some people like to go, you know what I'm saying, to people's house and watch fight parties, whether it's boxing, whether it's UFC. And then you also think about the major restaurant chains that have to get their accounts because of the fact that people go in there and have specials so they can watch the fights there. So this is definitely going to help them. I just, you know what I'm saying, I did not know Dana White had a hand in the slap matches.
Yeah, man, that was his own creation. And it's doing extremely well, but it is so violent, man. Like, I don't know how much these people are getting paid to have someone just hit them with their full. Like, if you lose, you don't get anything, right? You just got your head smashed in.
Your head smashed in. You know?
I remember I told y'all last week when we were doing level 1 combatives, we had to just stand up in front of each other and slap each other.
Get smacked,
and
yes.
Hit. Just learn to take the hit.
I think Dana White got that from y'all.
No. Now I gotta say this because I wanted to tie it in for the millennial moment, you know, and like it wasn't always UFC growing up. Before it was UFC, it was pride fighting. And I remember like growing up, you had boxing and you had pride fighting, and they were very separate. You know, one was its own and the other one wasn't, and you would never see them cross over, you know.
Right.
Boxing was definitely more popular here in the States. Pride fighting a lot of times happened overseas, like mostly in a lot of the pride fights happened like Asia and stuff like that. And so I think the reason why was because of the brutality of pride fighting at that time. Like, you were allowed to do groin shots, you were allowed to do head kicks while they were on the ground and just basically stomp someone's head in. And when Dana White came in and took over with the
UFC, right? You could break ligaments and stuff, right?
Yeah, man. It was all out. It was all out. I'm gonna do whatever I can to knock you out or tap you out. And then in boxing, it was completely different, you know. And I found it interesting because, like, I started thinking about Don King, right? Like, Don King was like the biggest promoter that I knew that I could compare to like a Dana White in this day and age, you know. Like, but Don King, I've never knew him to get into the pride fighting, right? Like, he's always only solely been in boxing for some reason. And I started thinking, like, if he had an opportunity, if Don King had an opportunity to get into pride fighting or ultimate fighting, do you think he would have done well with that? Or do you even think that is something he would have like wanted to step into? Or do you think at that time during the 80s and 90s, they wanted to still keep it separate? What do you guys think?
Look, go ahead, Bobby. I'm going to tell you about Don King. I know.
I was like, I think it's good that they keep it separate. They clearly have different fighting styles, and not everybody's built or, you know, can withstand seeing the type of pride fighting that you're talking about. I remember what they were doing, but even when we were younger, I was like, that's a lot. Like, where are the rules at?
Yeah.
at least boxing, you have rules. Even in the UFC, you have rules. You know.
Yeah.
So that's what I got. Okay, tell us about Don King, Corey.
Don King followed the money. If he knew he can make money from it, he was into it. Period. And then he already knew how to navigate it. He would have done the research. He would have done like, okay, because that's what he did with boxing. You know how many times he switched sides for people? I was like, damn, Don, I thought you was in his corner. And he has that mindset. He had that mindset like 50 Cent. I'm with the winner.
Mhm.
And can't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we still talking about Don King to this day in 2026. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Now,
Yep.
there was a little bit of just a little trivia for you guys. You guys name a boxer that Don King represented? Anybody know one?
Yeah.
Who?
He had, I believe it was,
So many. There are so many.
yeah, there was Oscar De La Hoya. There was Sugar Ray Leonard, and I believe there's quite a few. I don't know if he had Mike Tyson.
He did. I didn't do any of the newer searches, but like from the older days, he managed and was responsible for George Foreman, Mike
Yeah.
Tyson, Evander Holyfield, and Muhammad Ali.
I was gonna say Muhammad's name.
Well, I knew
and
that
was
from the
like,
movie.
how far back was that?
Man, that was 70. That was late 70s. I think
Mhm.
Muhammad was boxing during the 70s,
Yeah.
late 70s, maybe early 80s.
I didn't want to say his name because I didn't know how far back Don went.
I didn't know he was managing De La Hoya, man. I mean, I guess that same time frame. He was like the only main boxing promoter, so it does make sense that he was tied in with every boxer.
Yeah.
know? What do you think about other boxers trying to go and start their own stuff too? Like Oscar De La Hoya's trying to start. He started his own like promotion, and what's his name? Like Floyd Mayweather. You know, he's trying to do his own promotion and stuff like that. What do you think of all these new boxing promotions popping up and trying to bring back the sport of boxing? Netflix. We were just talking about that Jake Paul fight like a month ago.
I mean, I think it's good if they're wanting to promote people who are trying to, be up and coming stars in the boxing ring, and they're teaching them the skills, the know-how, how to network with people, how to stick a move, all the things that made the promoters great in their time, and they're trying to put that same skill set down into a younger generation. I mean, I think it's good. They're wanting to promote that and stuff.
All right. What about you, Corey? What do you think?
Look, I'm all for people getting honest money. You know what I'm saying? They finding a way to be able to maximize their potential, and especially like let's say, I mean, Floyd Money Mayweather. Like, I think he's one of the most kindest people there is, but when he has to promote a fight, he gets nasty. Same thing with Gervonta Davis. You know what I'm saying? He gets nasty, but this man went back to his old Baltimore neighborhood and bought the whole block up. And you know what I'm saying? Redeveloped the homes. What's the other young guy that Gervonta Davis was fighting? Young Christian Spanish young man. He was fighting. He fought him like about a year and a half ago. And everybody gets into the sport for a particular reason. But when you get into any type of job, your horizon expand, right? You know what I'm saying? You go into a job to be a cashier, but then you realize you could be a manager. So then you go into a manager. So you get into boxing because you want to be a fighter, but then you realize, like, hold on, I'm teaching these young men what I'm doing. I could be a promoter because this is the next step of fighting. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for it. As long as it's legal and honest work, go for it.
All right. Well, I guess the best way to close this out, talking about Dana White and then flashing back and thinking about Don King. And normally when I think of Don King, instantaneously, I tie him to Mike Tyson. Don King, Mike Tyson, because he's left hand, right hand. And so just to close out the millennial moment, flashing back to one of those Tyson fight days, man. If you guys have a favorite Tyson fight, man, what was your favorite Mike Tyson fight that Don King promoted? And tell us a moment in that fight that made it so favorite for you.
Mike Tyson versus Riddick Bowe, and I think Mike Tyson uppercutted him and knocked him down within the first 2 or 3 rounds, because nobody seen Tyson go past 6 rounds except for with Evander Holyfield, and Holyfield won.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Tyson was not known to go past 6 rounds back in the day.
Was that the whole ear biting incident happened?
That was the second. No, that was The first or the second. The first one, Evander Holyfield beat him, and then I think the second one, he kept headbutting him, so Tyson bit him.
Mm.
Yeah, but hey, what's the phrase we was told as a kid? If you can't beat him, bite him.
Man. You know, that was I would say, we got to go to you, Bobby, with our favorite fight, but you just named my favorite fight. That was my favorite fight, was Tyson versus Holyfield, man. That was a good fight. Because, yeah, he took him the limit. Holyfield exposed Mike Tyson. I was like, damn, he's exposing Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
What about you, though, Bobby? You ever see a Tyson fight?
Yeah, that one. And I remember seeing all the highlights later because it was on the news. It made national news. A lot of times some of the boxing stuff doesn't always, or if it does, it only makes it to the sports section. Nope. This is front page news.
Yeah.
All that happened. I remember seeing the aftermath of his ear and everything. And I was,
did you see how high Holyfield jumped? When he bit him, boy, that dude jumped. He did like a vertical, like a 4-inch vertical. I was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious,
that
man.
wasn't fixed. People used to say fights were fixed. That wasn't fixed.
Yep.
You saw his ear.
A real emotion.
I think that was after Prison Mike. That wasn't before Prison. That was after Prison Mike.
That was after.
Yeah, a lot of his fights too. He talks about how he was medicated. He had to take a lot of medications when he got out, and so medications will fuck with you. But that's what I got for the millennial moment, man. We're gonna watch. We're gonna add another streaming service to the list, millennials. We're gonna get that Paramount Plus so we could watch the UFC. And now apparently boxing on Paramount Plus as well.
Hey, you can't go wrong with that. And
Fight night at
Paramount, you're gonna have to start paying us for these plugs soon.
Fight night at Bobby's. Mm-hmm. Hey, that sounds like a movie. Yo. So, Valentine's Day is around the corner, guys. It is. And us being parents, you know what I'm saying? Those who have kids, you know what I'm saying? They go to school. And back when we were kids, we would get these little bags from everybody in the classroom full of these Valentine's candy, right? But what happens when your crush give you a Valentine's Day at school? Did y'all ever take it to the PDA? Did some public display of affection? Or did you hide out? You know what I'm saying? And with that, how do you feel about your children displaying PDA to their set crush? Bobby, run with it. Talk to me.
That's an absolute no-go. The very first question, did your crush ever give you nothing? Ain't nobody liked Bobby. Okay. There was nobody giving me anything. That's just the truth of the matter.
Oh.
As far as for me, it's fine. Don't feel bad. As far as like parents go, or as far as like kids expressing PDA, like teenagers in front of parents.
Teenagers expressing PDA.
I do not think so. I do not think so. Nope. Barely.
Why?
Barely started letting
What is it about it? Can they hold hands? They could at least hold hands, right?
I think that's very basic stuff. Holding hands, you know what I mean? Like hugging on each other. Like that's kind of basic. All out trying to make out and stuff in front of people. Like let's pump our brakes here for just a second.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely not. If you don't do it in front of your pastor, you will not do it in front of me.
Hello. Praise Jesus.
No, I'm serious. Is it we pull out all the time? I was like, oh, you talk like this when pastor's around? Oh no, and then you ain't doing it when they ain't around either.
What about you, Don? You ever gave some girls some PDA when you was a youngster?
Of course, man. I've been making out with girls since like the 2nd, 3rd grade, man. I've always been obsessed with women, man. And I've always came out the pocket on like a card and some candy. I never really got stuff in return. But I don't think I realized I was supposed to get stuff in return. This is the 90s, right? Like, so a guy had to do particular things to somewhat court a woman, and it's different, and so Yeah, man, I would come out with flowers and candies, but nah, none of them girls ever gave me candies. I ain't never got no. I got a kiss though. You know, I got kisses and hugs.
Ooh, and you ain't
That
talking about
was
no
worth it to me.
You ain't talking about Hershey's.
But I mean, as far as like the PDA goes, like, yeah, I don't mind like minor stuff. I watch Lauren and her kids, and I haven't seen them interact with people. But I mean, I could imagine the holding hands and hugs and stuff is cool. But yeah, don't make out in front of me. But if teenagers is making out, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like the hormones start going, they start exploring and experimenting, and
I'm
school is
saying.
normally where they'll get their interactions with it at. So I think the best thing parents could do is just talk to their kids, give them advice, and keep them aware of consequences, man. If you
Yeah,
are kissing, don't let it go past the kiss. But yeah, you shouldn't be kissing if you're not in high school.
yeah,
If you're in high school, you're in the 11th grade, 12th grade, you're 16, 17 years old, you should be able to make out a little bit. But yeah, keep in mind where, yeah, don't make out in public in front of your mom and in the theaters, man. Don't do that. Go to the park.
don't embarrass me.
Or go to the park.
Right.
Take a walk
Oh,
around the park, hold hands, feed the ducks.
mhm.
No, I just
Yeah.
told my daughter, don't put yourself in a situation where if something bad's to happen, it's your word versus their word.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes with not everybody's the same. We live out in the country, so going to the park to hang out ain't a thing. It's
Right.
just not a thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We're
They
not
got a park in the
doing that.
backyard.
Want to go hang out and milk the cows? Then okay, cool. You know what I mean? Other than that, there's no hanging out at a park and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just basically it's school and it's church kind of thing.
Mhm.
Now I will say that we had this last Christmas. I told my daughter, I said, hey, uh, her. Well, I'll change his name because you don't need to know his name. Let's say his name is John, and I tell her in the morning, hey, why don't you ask John if he wants to come over and hang out? She's like, wait, really? I said, well, yeah, I'm gonna be here. We're gonna have a little, Christmas party for the kiddos and stuff because they're homeschooled. So I said, yeah, tell me to come on over. I'm gonna make some wings and some chicken salad sandwiches for lunch. We'll have chips and dip and cookies, all sorts of stuff. She's like, oh, okay. And he came over and he hung out. And he got to walk around the house. We gave him the freedom to do that. They hung out outside for a while, probably with holding hands in the front yard. I'm not tripping about something like that because that's really basic stuff. But I mean, trying to hide out somewhere and suck each other's
Yeah.
faces off, like, hey, hold on a second. That's
No
little too
closed
much.
doors.
No closed doors.
You ain't closing
No.
no doors.
But you see, my daughter was acting pretty, kind of crazy with me, so we took her door off last year. So the door's a privilege.
There it
Right.
is. See?
The door's a privilege. So I don't have to worry about none of that because ain't no door.
Ain't no
ain't no
door.
door, ain't no problem.
No door, no problem.
Oh,
Now, so my
Here's what
youngest, not my youngest, my oldest daughter, she has a
Right.
they think they call themselves boyfriend, girlfriend, right?
mm,
And I was like, y'all can't kiss, y'all can't hug, y'all can do half hugs, y'all can hold hands, but not at school. Like, but daddy, that's the only time we see. Well, hey, hey. But then I also thought about when I was a kid. I didn't tell my mom I had a girlfriend, right? You know what I'm saying? My mom would be like, you don't love nobody, you better love them books, right? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what are you
your
doing?
mom sounds like me.
I'm just saying, what did you
Holy
do?
man, you better love the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like kids want to express themselves about how they like their, you know what I'm saying, the people who they have their attraction to. So me and my wife started asking my daughter some questions. We was like, okay, so when did you make it official with him? And she was like, what? I'm like, because you ain't telling me, so I'm gonna assume it is. And then she gave us the info, right? And then went on and gave us some more info. And I was like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? This is what you gotta learn. You gotta know, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be kissing him. You can't. You don't know where his mouth be, you know what I'm saying? And this and that. And then my wife, she was like, don't do it. Cause I was about to pull out the venereal disease chart and just start like, you know what I'm saying, if you got a blister here, if you got a blister there, yeah, nah, because you don't know. Because I remember I was 13, 14, 15, 16. And you know what I'm saying? It all started with the scratching the palm, middle of the palm, and then it just went elsewhere.
Yeah, that
Right?
cold sore, it's called herpes simplex.
Yep. And it goes with you everywhere. You
Well,
don't.
they got those. They're teaching those sex education classes at earlier and earlier ages. So I mean, aren't your kids like already being taught how to protect themselves and from you know?
Let me tell you something.
Y'all are in
Because like I remember
California,
sex
maybe
ed
over
happened for
there.
me in the ninth grade, so I didn't really pay attention of sex until even though I was in the eighth grade, but I was like 13 at that time. But like I mean, prior to getting into a sex education class, I never thought about sex. I thought about making out. That was like the only thing that ever went through my mind was kissing, kissing. But it wasn't until they taught me about sex that I started thinking about sex, man.
Right. And so that's another thing. It's like, um, when do we like I cracked that question already when me and my wife cracked that question, but we cracked it up. We cracked that question like, look, this is what happened when you do it. And you know what I'm saying? You get sick, this. We gave bad examples. We didn't give no good examples. Because it was like because you're not married, and so these things happen, and boom, boom, boom. And maybe I was wrong for saying it that way.
Yeah, you're fine.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody else's daughter but mine. So I gotta protect my daughter.
Well, I
But
remember
I
my older
understand that.
daughter. Go
Huh?
ahead, Corey. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
it's all good. It's all good. I just know that we have to be realistic about what the times we live in. Music out there that they play at their school that we don't play in the house is like what the F, yo? Like, you know what I'm saying? We
School
don't
dances, man. I got so many freak-ons at the school dance, man. Like,
no, for real. You know what I'm saying? You realize why people really wanted to go to the dance when, like, I was like, oh, we're formal? You know what I'm saying? There's girls that would dance with me that they wouldn't even talk to me on campus. But I was
hold
moving.
up with
They,
it.
you know what I'm saying? They just they threw it and I caught it. Yeah. But after that, I mean, like after you know what I'm saying, you back at school regular time, and they weren't throwing nothing. It was like the music made them do things. But you know what I'm saying? That's just my take on it. But what do you guys feel that is an appropriate age to start talking to your children about public display of affection? Or do you guys feel there isn't an age?
Oh yeah, there's an age, man.
There is.
I would
I
say
would
fourth
say
grade. Fourth grade is
fourth
when I
grade.
started experimenting. So I'm assuming that's as low as young people would start experimenting as far as like stepping out of that box. I don't think anybody under fourth grade is really thinking about that because like my girl's kid,
My
her
daughter's
son
in
is
fifth
10
grade.
and he still hates girls, but her
Mhm.
daughter is 12 and she's starting to talk to boys on the cell phone stuff, so like, or on the pad, I guess, or
Yeah,
whatever.
on the iPod, on the
But
chat.
yeah, so it's
My
think about
daughter's 9 in the fourth
before
grade.
junior high. If you talk to your kids before junior high and you really set them straight, they'll go into high school with a lot more knowledge, because
I was
they'll see it and experience it in the seventh and eighth grade. And then once they hit the ninth grade and their body starts actually developing and their hormones start taking over to where that's all they could think about. Uh, yeah, man, they'll have a better head on their shoulders, I think. Because I didn't have anybody talking to me about sex really. So when I would hear the songs and stuff, that's what I thought I was supposed to do. Like you're supposed to go out and lose your virginity. If you were a virgin, they made fun of you, and it's kind of weird how it was in the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't know
Bobby,
if it's
what's
the
your
same
take?
in 2026.
so fourth grade is a little too young for my blood.
Yeah, fourth grade too young, dog.
Okay, so I wasn't the only one thinking that. I was like,
Fourth
That's
grade
like
is
9 years old,
like,
though, right? Fourth grade. That's like 9 or 10.
yeah,
Double
man,
I'm
digits,
in
they're
man.
like
playing with Barbie dolls.
my daughter's in the
Okay.
fourth grade and she's 9. So I think that's really, really young because that shouldn't even be the thoughts, right? Boys should still be icky at that time.
Yeah.
I'm
It-
thinking like 13 or 14. Maybe it's like, hey, this is the time that you begin to really learn how your body works and you'll begin to be attracted to the opposite sex and you might begin to feel things and stuff, but it also depends though, because my girls are homeschooled this year, but they were all in private school last year, and they'll be back in private school next year. And I could tell you there is zero PDA happening, regardless of age at that school.
Well, I was
So
under the
they're
impression
not
that they
doing
were starting sex education classes at lower and lower grades over the last years or so. So I don't know how young they are starting to teach these classes, but is it still like high school? It's not an elementary school, huh? I could have sworn that I heard some things
elementary.
about teaching sex ed to kids at early ages, earlier than normal.
Again, that might be in California. That ain't flying in Texas though.
Yeah.
Truly
Even in
isn't.
California, sex ed is introduced in 6th grade at LAUSD. You know what I'm
Okay, so
saying?
I am kind of right a little bit. They are teaching it lower than high school now, right? Like,
Of course, yeah. Because kids
yeah.
are actually sexually active in their like the 11 through the 13-year-old phase now, which is I'm telling you, it's that damn music.
Yeah, kids having kids, man. Like my mom was 19. That was a kid. Now kids is like 15, right? There's still 15, 16-year-old mamas out there?
I think
Probably.
I think when my daughter was in 8th grade, we had gotten a notification that we had to sign a form saying that as parents, we consented to allowing our kids to go through this program, such and such, but because they wouldn't give me details about the program, I denied consent. And my daughter was like, well, there was only like me and one other student. Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. As a parent, I care about what you're being taught and what you're being told. And if you can't share that curriculum with me, then it sounds like you don't need to know it either.
Yeah.
Just being real. Like, no. If you have questions, please come and talk to me and I will give you the answers. However, there's some pros and cons, right? So my 16-year-old was kind of curious and she starts asking me questions about, do things hurt? I was like, well, hell yeah, it hurts a lot. And she's like, how long does it take for that to go away? I'm not going to tell her because it just depends on your pain tolerance. She's already discovered she's got a very low pain tolerance. So because of that, I was like,
Forever.
it's going to hurt for a lot
Forever.
for quite some time. And she's like, ugh. I was like, yeah, let's keep that same mentality.
Keep that same energy.
She's all, no, I'm serious. Like, she's like, I don't want to do anything like that. Like until I'm married and I know like it's going to be in a safe environment. She's like, ugh. I was like, yep, ugh, it's correct.
Like scar him.
We'll see. We'll see. But for now, I'm the type of parent that's not going to let her be in a situation where that can't happen.
Yeah.
So, not a helicopter mom, but oftentimes, right, overprotective moms were just underprotected daughters at some point, and that was me. And so, because of that, I'm going to be the stoppage so that we don't have unnecessary traumas happening at young ages. If I can prevent it, then I am.
Well, for sure.
I would hope, right? I would hope that moms and dads alike would feel the same way.
Of course. I know I do. I'm like, look, you know what I'm saying? I want them to, because I always let them know, like, look, your decisions can cancel out your future. Yeah. You make one bad decision, what you really want to do, you won't be able to do because you'll never be young again.
Yeah.
You won't.
We only have them from birth to 18, so they become an adult. And then after that, it's going to be up to when my daughter's 18, she'll be able to make, really big girl decisions. But I've told her really big girl decisions can have really big woman consequences too. And, just being on the real when it comes to that. And so trying to prevent, taking preventative measures now to try to help develop healthy relationships, identifying red flags and identifying green flags and what that looks like.
Oh, man. So just to wrap this up, pretty much Don says 4th grade is when they start teaching sexual ed. And Bobby said, hell no. And I'm like, you see this sexual transmitted disease chart?
Well, hold on. I just got to say, I got to clarify that. I'm not saying that the school should be teaching at that age. I'm saying the parents should start maybe talking to their kids around, age 10.
Okay.
Once they hit around age 10 and they hit double digits, to kind of start maybe, before the school does it. You know, I think
Yeah.
the parents should do it before the school does it, because if the school does it
agree.
and they go against you, now your kid has two different viewpoints, and it's like, oh well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have
Nope.
kids, thank God.
No, but you're
You
you're
are right.
right, Donald. I think parents need to be taking a more proactive approach in what that looks like and offering up the conversation, even if it's at a younger age. If parents
You don't
if they
gotta talk
begin
about
to
sex, but you can start talking
right,
about
right.
like the difference between boys and girls. You know, hey, in a
Mhm,
couple years, you're gonna start thinking about,
mhm,
you know,
Wondering why things are happening.
yeah, you know, like,
mhm,
hey, I'm gonna, prep your kids, man. Because I didn't get no
mhm.
prepping, and because I didn't get no prepping, I was making some bad decisions.
I like that. Prep your kids.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Thank God I'm not one of those teens who had teens, because like I come from a family with teens who had teens, and it's tough on teens who have kids.
Mm.
Believe me, and you better have a family to support you, because if not, and you're like my mom, who was on her own at 19 trying to raise my badass, so much stress on her shoulders that,
Sound like you needed a whooping, Donald.
oh, she did that.
You about to get a
All right.
bad,
Give
you
your mom
know,
some grace. Give your mom some grace.
chastising. There's no statute of limitations.
My mom kept me in check, but yeah, she, when it came to the sex ed, I was taught by school. I
Mm.
wasn't taught by my parents, really.
Look, I get it. And wrapping up this parent parenting topic, make sure you approach your kids the hard questions and the hard conversations before someone else do. That's pretty much what I'm taking from this, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be my advice.
But you want to know what other people can't take? Damn TikTokers. They can't get their money. They can't get their money because of the new. I mean, a lot of TikTokers, except for Romeo, obviously, she's the exception. But TikTokers, they are not able to get their money. They pretty much, based off of the fact that TikTok is now owned by the U.S., a lot of things is changing. Algorithms, money, sponsorships, visibility. What do you guys think about that?
I
Well,
think if you
for
earn
me,
money on
I don't. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
say just I think if you earn money on any platform and it somehow changes hands, if you earn that money, then you still have a right to that money. And in the transition process, I think in this case, the U.S. should have at least given notice to some TikTokers, hey, by this day, this thing is going to sunset. And so if you have any funds associated in this area, you need to withdraw them at this time. Like you understand this and get some sort of like consent form saying, yes, I understand that if I don't do this for this amount of time. But if they kind of did it shady, because I don't know the whole story, but if they did it in a shady manner, and that's ridiculous. They're still entitled to those funds.
I can tell you what happened because I have $1.03 over there, right?
Mhm.
And I
I
was
want my
like,
$1.03.
I opened up TikTok one day and it says, give me like, in order for you to use TikTok, you have to do this. So I try to go ahead and close out the app and then swipe it, reopen it. It kept popping up there. It just kept like I couldn't move forward, right? And I was like, oh, because we knew the U.S. was taking over TikTok. The owner of Skydance, right? You know what I'm saying? Which is the people who own Paramount Studios. They now own TikTok, and I was like, yeah, let me go see if I can get my money out there. And it was like, please try later. I was like, what? In layman terms. And I'm like, oh, this is real. It's like the tickety tockety ain't tickety and tockety no more.
Right.
And it's like now, people built a life off of that. And I wonder if it's only in the US. It's probably only in the US. But if you are in the US and you are affected by the TikTok migration, let us know. Let us know. Are y'all getting your money? And if you're not in the US, how are y'all getting y'all money? Because apparently, you know what I'm saying, it's not affected in other countries but the US. But what's y'all take on that? I know, Bobby, you said that any work that's done, you need to get paid for, right?
Yep.
What
Especially
about
if it brought viewership and got money on ads. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about the taxes. Well, if it's just an America thing, it's probably has to do with taxes. But because I don't do TikTok or know anything about getting paid through online stuff, how do the taxes work for TikTok? Like, is it the same taxes that normal independent distributors or contractors have to pay, or do they get some subsidy for the internet or something? I don't know how it works.
So, based off of my last TikTok contract that I signed when I was partnered with an influencer, you do fill out a W-9, and then you go ahead and at the end of the year, they'll give you a like a W-2, so to speak.
Statement.
Statement. But you have to have made at least $600.
Oh, okay.
So it sounds like a 1099. You get a 1099 if they do something like, which is basically the same as like contract work, where they don't take taxes out of it, and you have to.
You got to do the taxes. Yeah. But people have been making $40,000 and $50,000 a year, sometimes a month, off of TikTok because affiliate programs where you refer somebody's program and you get a percentage of it, and then also like brand deals, TikTok brand deals. A lot of that stuff is real, but it's like they kind of pulled the cord on it now. So like people are really going to be upset, especially how they did it. It's like Bobby said, they should have gave a timeline letting people know, hey, you got this amount of time before you can cash in. If not, it's a wrap, gingerbread snaps, and we taking that money back. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Sheesh. That's, what I'm saying? That's my whole TikTok take on that. You'll tell you what I did. TikTok take. They took your TikTok toy.
So what's up with the TikTok world though? Like, are they still on the rise? It seems like they're probably getting there's been nothing that's really taken its place yet, huh? Has OnlyFans surpassed it yet? More OnlyFans than TikTok?
No. So TikTok is it was the fastest growing social media platform last year, right? Only a lot of OnlyFans are turning into doing movies because of the fact that they're going, and not in the sexual matter. They've been getting contracts, so that because of the fact that and I'll be talking a lot more on this next week about vertical content, because now vertical content is about to surpass 16 by 9 regular content that you see on YouTube and regular TV. There's a whole vertical industry that's coming out now. And in China right now, it's an $8 billion market. Kim Kardashian had just started doing her new scripted television on 9 by 16 for vertical content. So you're going to see a lot of those coming soon. It's just going to be amazing. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, we did a video, we did a segment about the Oscars in 2029, right? And that's going to be the Oscars 100-year anniversary. Because right now it's the Oscars 96, 97. Yeah. 96 or 7, you know what I mean?
I see what you did there.
But with the Oscars coming up next year, I'm sure they're going to try to play that into it, and then the following year and the year afterwards, they're going to have it vertical because everybody has a phone in their hand, you know what I'm saying, but not a TV at their house.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So that's my take, man. Any questions for you guys? Because look, we out of time. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Bobby.
On an hour, 1 hour mark. Not bad.
1 hour mark. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no bim, 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 bim.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Geronimo. That's a hard working brother, man. He worked harder than James Brown did when he was alive. I ain't mad at him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Bobby, go ahead and close us out. Let the people know what they can get from you.
All right. So if you tuned in this evening for Technically Speaking, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure to share, tell a friend, tell a friend. But until then, I'm Bobby Lopez. Thank you for joining, and just letting you know that I own a disabled veteran-owned small business here in the state of Texas called Patriot Restorations. We focus solely on water mitigation issues. So if you have a busted water heater, there's water everywhere, you don't know what to do, make sure to give me a call, send me a DM. Let us get in there to help you, because with the amount of humidity that we have here in this area of Texas, it can turn into mold very quickly within 24 to 48 hours. So just keep that in mind. If something happens, give me a call. We'd be more than happy to help walk you through what that process looks like. And until then, Donald, what do you got for the folks?
Water, as Geronimo would say. Speaking of water, I clean swimming pools and spas, and you can reach me at d.r.pool and spa service at gmail.com for questions and quotes, as well as at don.rumpf is my Instagram and Facebooks. And you can also check out the stuff I'll be posting from the internet. It's weird, y'all.
Hey, yo, and you already know it's your main man with the game plan, Corey Giovanni. And if you're looking into getting into the podcast world like us, feel free to click that link and schedule a free consultation with me. I make sure that I make it easy for you guys. If this is something that you want to do or something that you want to try. But other than that, hey, thank you for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, because we constantly are giving you news
That you can use.
And we are out. Peace.
Be safe, y'all.